Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 2042 all have one thing in common. They were nowhere near complete when they launched. All made by DICE, all published by EA, and all going wrong. So what the hell is going on at DICE? This is the company known for making famous games like Battlefield 3 and also a little bit dodgy starts, but good bare bones games like Battlefield 4, which we all know for that dodgy launch. But it was a great game that had everything we needed, just to be refined a bit. But in the past 5 years or so, we've really seen the decline of a once great studio that has really just fallen off and is a shell of its former self. But is this EA's problem or is this DICE's problem? I believe that it is a bit of both. We've really seen a big shift in DICE's staff. This is no longer the same staff company who made the OG Battlefield. This is more a brand new company with a similar name. It's like comparing the Lord of the Rings trilogy to the Rings of Power TV show. Same name, very different qualities. But DICE isn't lackluster of skill and talent. It's lackluster of leadership in my opinion, because they've really been failing on achieving their goals. They always promise and they never deliver it. That's half-baked goods. They justify not having a campaign with Hazard Zone and then it dies instantly. Leadership is the real problem at DICE and EA, if you were to ask me. Now, EA is a whole different story. We can talk about their problems with having a gaming company that is a public company. Don't want to really get too far into that because it's a long conversation about how private companies are actually much better for creating games because they don't have to answer the shareholders. Shareholders, what do they demand? Profit over anything. That's why we're seeing games from like EA, Activision, all so predatory and try and make money whenever they. That's why when you find a private gaming company, celebrate their games, because some of them, I mean some of them, are actually just wanting to make a good game. They don't care about hitting that launch date. They want a really well-baked game and they don't want to wait. And they don't want to have to bend the knee, you would say, to their shareholders because they don't have any. They're owned by a singular or a few people. And that's the way I feel games are the best well run. Now, there's obviously examples, really good games made by public companies, but I just feel like in the future going forward, having a private company behind the game is much better. But maybe I'm wrong. That's just my opinion. I don't run a gaming studio. Wish I did. That would be pretty cool. I'd make some pretty epic games that would probably take 15 years to come out. But with DICE, we were looking at stats that were saying that like up to 70% of all the staff in DICE have left between the ages of Battlefield, like when Battlefield 5 just started getting developed. That's most of all the people that created their game, so they've lost their heart and soul. And yes, COVID was not a help to anyone, especially when you have new staff coming in, and they definitely did, and you have to kind of teach them remote learning. Not really easy to do something like that. But this problem started before COVID, so can't really use too much as an excuse. It started all the way with Battlefront 2 that had their predatory microtransactions, and in my opinion had a really lackluster, underdeveloped game that needed more maps and content, and a complete rework of their system because of how predatory it was. I am glad that game came out because it is actually a fun game under all the stuff, and that does become quite reoccurring with most of the DICE games, apart from Battlefield 2042 that I feel like really big overhauls which they are doing right now. We're in the process of their traditional reworking of a game that they always do instead of being able to apply content. But they always start off their games like, we are going to support this game with 10 years of content. It's the biggest game ever. And then 1 month into launch, there's been like one map that's came out and they're spending the next 3 months reworking the game. Even years. Battlefield 2042's been out almost a year and it's still being reworked. That is ridiculous. This is like one of the slowest ones out of anything. We've actually been seeing a degradation of the quality of games also though, like Battlefront 2, solid bare bones. Solid bare bones. No matter what you think about it, I believe it had a solid bare bones and good potential. Battlefield 5, same thing. Solid bare bones and I'd say a bit less inspiring. Not as high quality as Battlefront 2 in aspects of like gameplay and stuff, but that destruction in Battlefield 5 is ridiculously good. And now we have Battlefield 2042, which the hell was this game that came out? It completely looks worse than Battlefield 5. They should have just stuck with the same engine, to be honest. They said they upgraded it, but I don't see any upgrades at all. There's no new destruction. They even advertised destruction, so we're at the point of false advertising. And DICE love to do is falsely advertised to the base. They want to lie as much as possible until they play the game, and then they'll promise that they'll start fixing it once the game comes out, instead of doing the right thing and playing it. But DICE really needs to change their culture, and EA is probably behind it, and they're probably also not. A bit of both. Because we have found that you can make a quality game under EA with Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order, Titanfall 2. Now there's few and far between, but there are some quality games that EA does produce. If you were DICE right now, what would you do? Because most definitely they're in risk of getting liquidated and getting moved along, or losing access to the Battlefield IP. What would you... I think personally it's time for a massive overhaul. They need to try and bring back their experience, or at least hold on to that experience they have and take their time. Now they took 3 years, 3-ish years with Battlefield 2042, but they didn't really spend 3-ish years. They spent 18 months because they spent a lot of their time developing the game as a battle royale. Now obviously when Apex Legends came out, no one knew it was going to be such a big success. It was a quiet launch and then boom. So this battle royale for Battlefield that they had been working on, they had to change, because why would you want to combat your own fans? It wouldn't make sense for EA to have 2 big battle royales happening at the time. But nevertheless, that happened. They had to overhaul the game, try and make it more like a traditional Battlefield. So I want to see in the next Battlefield game, they don't go down the route that were planned originally with a bloody hero shooter like Overwatch. Please. They go down the plan to making an original Battlefield game. Then they have time. And I'm not even sure DICE is making a game, because there's rumors, not rumors, they have announced that DICE LA, whatever they're called now, are making a Battlefield game. But we don't know if it's a Battlefield game. Actual one. But I do know that if they come out with a Battlefield hero shooter, I refuse to buy it, and I do not care. Even though this channel is completely built around Battlefield, I will not buy it as a Battlefield fan. I won't download it if it's free. I won't so far as look at it at the store page for more than a minute, because I do not want anything to do with a game that is not Battlefield, and I think that is a disgrace to the Battlefield franchise. We have Battlefield Mobile coming out quite soon actually, so we'll see how that goes, hoping that DICE moves a lot of their predatory stuff over there and then out in our game. But we'll find out, because it could be a flop. There's already quite a bit of competition with COD Mobile out there and everything. And yeah, Battlefield I reckon is going to be a bit harder of a sell for mobile gamers who like more. To be honest, I don't know how people play first person shooting on phone. I get really annoyed with the controls because it's just like too crazy. But anyways, if you were at EA, what would you do? Would you leave DICE going on and see if you can keep making profits? Will they die out eventually? You know, milk a dead cow? Or are you going to try and help them, but know that it'll be costly and it may not even work out at all? Or are you just going to remove them from Battlefield and make them maybe work on the next Battlefront 3 or a completely brand new project that they've never done before? Because obviously, I feel like there's more experience in DICE LA making a Battlefield game than there is in DICE. Or you just kill the company, you end it, DICE is done, they don't exist anymore. I feel like any fan of video games does not want DICE to die. Company, that would be an absolute shame. Every time we lose one company, aiming that is a shame. But not the DICE of old. This is a completely different company, and they are failing to meet the expectations that comes with a DICE game. There are some different standards. DICE. They have made some brilliant games of old. Please let me know what you think And if you have any hope for the future with DICE, can we trust them again? Because I don't know anymore. Just a quick note, I took like a month off. It was a bit of a difficult period, so I hope we're all good here. I'm going to try, I will keep on one video a week, and it's getting better soon. I just have to finish up my uni at the last 2 weeks, and then we're good. So we're good for 4 months. So I will get back on top of this video grind, and I really appreciate those who stayed on the channel and hasn't unsubscribed already. Thank you, lads. I will be back. If you have anything you want me to talk about, I will consider it. And yeah, it's in a bit of an awkward period in this channel because I'm just trying to figure out where we lie. I have a few ideas that are slightly different Battlefield. I'm definitely going to be talking a little bit about Modern Warfare 2 because I feel like Modern Warfare 2 is a quality game, but no, I don't just play Battlefield. Shock. I used to play a lot more Battlefield than I do right now because Battlefield 2042, I play for it like an hour or two, and I haven't played for a very long time. I haven't played the last month because, yeah, it's not the game that I wanted. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's not the game I hoped for. So I found some very different games. You know, I play a really wide genre of games. So just let me know what you guys think. Really appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. Peace.